Hey, Mama Sue, thanks for tagging me in this. Okay, now let's answer your questions. I am cleaning out my closet right now, so yeah, that is much better than it was looking. Um, so your freeze dryer, you do yourself a favor. You want it to work on your time. You don't want to work on its time because sometimes it will literally say it will end and you'll have to get up at 3 in the morning. Trust me, I've done this 3 in the morning to process the batch, to put it all away. I live in a very humid community, so your processing times are going to totally be dependent on the temperature outside, the humidity outside, and the product and the amount of moisture that's in the product. So, what you're going to want to do is do yourself a favor. Go into your settings and put extra dry time. It's set for 2 hours, extra dry time 24 hours. That way, you can put stuff in, go to work, come back, and start checking it. If you don't work, you can just go off and run your errands and then you can start checking it. What I do is I have a gram scale, a scale that measures grams, 1 gram at a time. So the bread run, just put a couple, 3, 4 slices on each tray and stick it in. You're just trying to absorb that smell that's in there. Never use vinegar. I heard you say that and I was like, no, vinegar actually rusts stainless steel. So for me, I never put candy in my machine because the candy gunks up the pump. You have to clean the pump a lot more. I mean, like deep clean the pump a lot more. So I never put sugar and I never do vinegar because vinegar actually, if you get I just did a video on this. If you put a little drop of vinegar on a stainless steel table, which the drum is stainless steel, it will start rusting. So never do vinegar. You will ruin the inside of your drum and you will ruin your pump with it. I clean with rubbing alcohol or vodka. That is a great cleaning product. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of rubbing alcohol down the tube and I'll close the tube off and then I'll let the rubbing alcohol or the vodka just sit in it for a second, like a few minutes, not long at all. Not overnight, not for an hour, just a few seconds. And then drain it all out and clean everything out. But your times are going to vary greatly. So I just did tomatoes. Tomatoes have seeds in them, and seeds take a ton of extra time because those seeds hold moisture. So strawberries, anything that has seeds, strawberries take a ton of time, grapes take a ton of time. Even if you think they're done, add extra time to them. The one thing you want to make sure is when the machine is done, it'll sit there and it'll just hold it and it'll beep. It's your food inside the machine is taking up moisture. You're going to have to warm up those trays and run it for a couple hours to remove the rest of that moisture because you get ice on the inside of that drum, and the ice on the inside of that drum is just going to start going right back into the food. So add 24 hours extra dry time. As soon as the machine goes into extra dry time, when you have time, you start weighing it. And then, this is what I do. You can weigh it or you can feel it. If you think the food is still cold, like there's spots of it that are cold, put it back in for a couple of hours, take it back out in a couple hours, weigh it or feel it again. I do the weight and the feel. And then you can see, because if you take it out when it's not completely done, your whole entire packaging of your food will be gone. And PackFresh USA has the best Mylar bags out there. Use code Tabitha if you want. It'll save you some money for packaging up your food. I use Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers inside of them. They sell those too. And I use Mylar bags. So I use mason jars and Mylar bags, and I put oxygen absorbers in there for long-term storage. You may, when you do your first batch of grapes and your first batch of strawberries, and you won't have anything extra to package and store. You'll literally eat the whole entire batch first. Okay, I'm going to get back to cleaning. If there's anything else that you would like to know, it is absolutely awesome. I mean, you can do so much with it, and the amazing thing is that once it goes into dry time, you just walk away. Like you just walk away. So I put my product in the freeze dryer, and this is something very important to understand or to hear. I put my stuff in the freeze dryer. I make sure my seal is really good, and then I turn around. I go in. I start cleaning or doing whatever, and it does. I always make sure my stuff is pre-frozen. It just cuts the time down from the freezing time down amazingly. It starts going into the freezing. It brings it down to the freezing, and then it goes into vacuum sealing. I want to be around and checking every few, like 15, 20 minutes. when it's getting close to the -20, because I have mine freeze down to -20. So when it gets close to being at that figure, I want to be around and I want to listen for it to go into the vacuum mode, because that's when your error is going to come. If your seal is not perfect or something is wrong with your machine or the pump, it will not vacuum and it will just beep. And then the ice will start building up that's inside the drum. And then it'll just be like you'll have to shut the whole thing down and start all over. No big deal, no big deal. I just make sure I'm there for the vacuum. Once it says dry time, drying, and the little line starts, once it says drying, I'm gone. I'm like, I'm out of here. And I go do my stuff. And then I know I've got at least 24 hours to 30 hours before I'm going to be needed on that. So have fun with it. Enjoy it. It's so much fun and so amazing for saving food up for when you need it. Bye.